Hello everybody and welcome back to Cinema Savvy. It is myself George bringing you a brand new video, and not only a new video but potentially a first video in a new series. You may tell by the background behind me I'm not standing up on the other side of my room, I'm not on the webcam on a stream of everybody else. This is a new kind of video, a solo video, and it's going to be some more home media stuff. And the reason I'm going to kind of say this now, get out of the way, because I'm not sure at the time of recording what the title is going to be called, if it will be a series. We're in an unknown, we're in something new, and there's a bit of subject matter with this too, which I'm going to try and delve into. Maybe it will offspring into other ideas on the channel too, but I've essentially bought a lot of films this weekend. And I don't mean that in a braggy way at all. I had some leftover birthday money, it's been payday, and I saw some amazing deals, and I had a big CEX wipeout. Yes, I'm going to say that. CEX, one of the best places to shop for Blu-rays for physical media collectors, for those looking to get cheap Blu-rays or ones that are quite hard to get these days, new sealed on Amazon, or other shops as well, not just Amazon, of course. So it's one of those where it's going to be a bit different. And I may have lost the plot ever so slightly in doing so. I have 25 films in front of me. You can't see them on the camera yet. I'm going to be going through these one by one. I'm going to be talking about what I've bought, maybe why I've bought it, why this one in particular, what jumped out. I'm not promoting shops. I know I've just spoke about CX. But I am not being paid to do this, which is always something I want to get away when doing videos. My physical media collection means a lot to me. I've spent many, many years of my life collecting these. A lot of these are Blu-rays and 4Ks. It's a sort of combo of both. Ever since I was a kid, I had videos. We had DVDs. Eventually got to Blu-rays when I was sort of 15, 16. And then, of course, I got a job. And when you work in retail in a place that does sell films when you're that age, you just keep buying more and more. And with doing this for fun, with now doing reviews, which I'm very blessed to sometimes do reviews for 4K, I thought I want to put a bit of spotlight on what I enjoy buying, maybe why I buy what I buy. And if anyone is curious to know this one's behind me, maybe I'll tease a video that could come out in a month or two if I want to do it. Will I go through every film I own? There are a fair few hundred. There's been some amazing videos. Reese Positive POV has been on our channel before, has done it before. So I'd like to do more home media stuff. And this is a nice way to kickstart this. And as I said, I've got 25 films, some 4K, some Blu-ray. Some, of course, I've seen before, some I haven't. But before I start going through them one by one, I want to hear from you at home, so please do comment below of your thoughts. Maybe comment your thoughts on physical media. There's been some interesting news this week in relation to The Power of the Dog, a Netflix film being taken off Netflix UK. Of course, there's right stuff behind that, but it's available to buy on Criterion. Now, I don't have that. I haven't bought that. There are no Criterions in this load today, actually, I'm going to add. But yeah, so physical media is important. It's very important to me, not just films. I like my soundtracks as well on vinyl. I like picking up books that I can read on paper properly. It's just one of those where, not because it's always been the way for me, I enjoy doing it. There's a lot of things I like digital, but when it comes down to I want to put a film on, I don't have to navigate streaming services. I don't have to navigate different terms and conditions, or my Flickster collection being moved to Google Play, or nonsense like that. I just want to pick up a film, put it in the Blu-ray player, and get on with it. And that's the really big thing for me. And also, it's a pretty cool background, you can't lie. But that aside, as I said, this could be the first series. I'm going to say this immediately. There's a cost of living crisis at the moment, so I feel a bit not uncomfortable going through 25 films I've bought, but you know, this is for me, and I'm not trying to be a braggy type. That's not me at all. I just wanted to get that out of the way early because, yeah, I know what some channels can be like, what some people can be like, and if my intentions come across as otherwise, it's not that. It's just because I love this industry, and there's some crackers in here which I'm going to be going through. But I'll kickstart with one, a film I've not seen before, a film that's been on my list. Been watching a lot of Arnie films this year, so I needed to finally buy The Running Man, which is now out on 4K. I think it's been out on 4K for a while. Of course, I've seen the speech from it. I've seen a lot of things. And, you know, when we did the James Cameron retrospective at the start of the year, I was going through a lot of Arnold Schwarzenegger films. He's just had his documentary come out. He's got a new book coming out later this year. And I'd say this is one of the last big classics I have to watch. So I'm looking forward to this. It will be a typical Thursday night film for me. Following up The Running Man. And by the way, some of these are in order. This isn't A to Z. This isn't, you know, director by director. This is a whole variety. As they came and they arrived, they were put in these areas. I've mixed a couple around tonight, just so there's a balance of a few that I want to talk about earlier. But next up, we have another classic, but a different kind of classic, maybe one of the best ones ever made. Goodfellas, I have done an upgrade to 4K. This is one, obviously, that is sealed. I'm not going to talk about every shop I bought them from. I'll talk about the ones that I got on offer. Most of these I got on offer. And this was £12, which was unbelievable price. I've wanted to upgrade it for a while. Upgrading films is always really interesting. I'm happy to upgrade a lot of my Blu-rays into 4K. I don't do it too often. I think I try and stick to my 4Ks, the films that are important to me, or the ones from directors that I really enjoy, and a lot of newer releases sort of blend in that way. So I'm not desperate for 4Ks, but if you can get some on offer, I'm more than happy to always make that jump. And Goodfellas is one. I don't have enough Scorsese films, which could lead into something down the line. And next up, we've got a film I've only ever seen once before and caught me off guard. A film I don't actually own. Don't know why I didn't own it at this point. I've seen it before. American Psycho, starring Christian Bale, one of my all-time favourite actors, again on offer. Was able to pick this one up. Of course, there's a new Nolan film coming out. I was rewatching a few Batman films. You watch Batman films, you think of Christian Bale, one of the greats of our time, one of my favourite actors. And even last year with Spielberg, when we got to talk about him in Empire of the Sun, I absolutely adore him. So I'm really curious to give that a watch. Not just because of sort of modern day interpretation of it. I know it's not a film for everyone, but I am curious seeing some people I know that absolutely love it, some loathe it, and it's been probably around about 10 years now since I saw it. So I want to give that another go. Kind of following up with that, something I enjoy doing. I've got a couple of actors that I've mentioned that I really like, Christian Bale, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I like to try and fill out Blu-ray collections or 4K collections for directors I really like, and that's going to be something I do more of. And if these videos become more regular, I'm not saying I'm going to buy 25 films a month. I absolutely cannot afford to buy 25 films a month, let alone CX prices for some of them. I'd like to try and 100% some people. So if there is a follow-up video, if this becomes a series, I'm probably going to actually go through my ambitions for collecting and building up my physical media collection. I know I've got quite a few hundred already, but it's a really interesting way for me to give me that extra oomph to try and pick something up. So a film I'm very surprised I don't own, Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. Picked it up, again, one of the CX classics. Loved this film. We watched it at school, as many people would have done. Big fan, of course, of Leo. We covered Titanic earlier this year, and Romeo and Juliet is one of them where I'm not a big fan of Shakespeare. I appreciate, I guess you have to appreciate the history and what it's done for literature. Working in Stratford-upon-Avon, the place he's born, you hear it a lot. I don't live there, thankfully. I couldn't deal with that. But yeah, just one of them where I absolutely love this adaptation, and it's been years since I've seen it, so I'm looking forward to that. And then that also sort of pads out the Baz Luhrmann collection, because I've got Elvis on 4K. I've got a few of his other films, and this is really where CX can come in handy for people that like to 100% their sets, that aren't bothered about certain films. They want it, so it's in their collection. 50p from CEX Australia. A film I saw once, again, probably about 15 years ago, maybe when it came out. My parents both really liked this film. I mean, everyone loves Hugh Jackman. You can't really go wrong with Hugh Jackman. Even Chappie, I liked Hugh Jackman. I haven't seen it. Am I going to see it soon? I don't know. And this is it. I buy so many films. I've got a list on my personal letterboxd, and it's every film I own I haven't seen. And in COVID, that was around about 120 films. It's now down to 60. But with these today, this is going to bump up a little bit, I am sure. And then the next one's an ill-fated purchase, one that I just had to do for the OCD of collecting. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania 4K Steelbook, UK HMV exclusive. Now, you might be wondering, this is a film he trashed, a film he doesn't like, a film he hasn't seen since. It's got an actor he can't really talk about anymore, who I bigged up a lot of earlier this year, and I obviously hope that justice is served alongside all that sorts of stuff, just getting out there. I just needed to get out. The problem with steelbooks is that they're not as desirable as they were back in the day. And I don't know if they make less now or they produce less, but my MCU collection, and maybe I'll do it in another video one day, of every single MCU film steelbook. I've not got the TV shows, not your Agent Carters, but what I have, and because steelbooks have been re-released and re-released and re-released, there's Mondo steelbooks now, there was upgraded different steelbooks, there was 4K steelbooks. My MCU one, I essentially call it the day one steelbook. So UK release dates, what was the day one pre-order? Back in the day it was play.com, then it was HMV, then it was Zavvi, and now the rights have reverted back to HMV. That's where Guardians 3 is up for pre-order for people curious that are in the UK. So I need this for the collection. It's a hesitant purchase, but one that had to be done because when the Guardians info went up, that was the kick for me to be like, okay, you need to get this one sorted. And then following that, on much a lighter tone, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, David Fincher, one of the absolute best. one of his films I haven't seen. And I'm a big fan of Daniel Craig. Love Daniel Craig. Watched a lot of his films around the time No Time to Die came out, as in ones I hadn't seen before, like Layer Cake, Road to Perdition. I never got around to Dragon Tattoo, and I didn't actually own it. So again, CEX, you get some unbelievable price Blu-rays from there, and that's because I'm trying to pad out another director heading into the next film, Social Network, a film I've not seen since it came out many years ago. Some will say it's Fincher's best. And it very well could be. Maybe there'll be some videos coming up soon. There is a new Fincher film out this year, which has kind of got me excited because we've also got Zodiac, one I've been desperate to rewatch. I haven't seen this since I was studying A-levels. This is going to go at 9-10 years now. I've seen Zodiac once. I loved it. I love Robert Downey Jr. He's one of my favourite actors, one of the most charismatic actors of our lifetime, I think we could say. And after watching Oppenheimer, recently, of course, it coming out, it's just so refreshing to see him back on the big screen in different roles. And Zodiac is obviously, pre-Iron Man. I think it's one of those films that not many people have seen. And of course, the real life stuff, I believe they think they solved the Zodiac killer's case. But yeah, so I'm excited to watch a couple of Fincher films leading up to The Killer, I think the title is. And as I said, there could be some more stuff. Another thing I like doing my collections, kind of what I plugged there of Ant-Man, sometimes you've got to fill in the gaps. And the next one's a steelbook that's been out years, and this was an eBay purchase, one I'm pretty happy with. One I've not been desperate to buy, but after the Spielberg series last year, it's Jurassic Park 3, let's just say it out there. The 2019 steelbooks, these all came out in 4K, I believe, or the end of 2018. It's a lovely steelbook, plain, simple, does the job. It's Jurassic Park, it doesn't need to be anything more than that. I have the first two. I picked up the first one when it first came out in 2019. I picked up The Lost World last year in the lead up for our Spielberg series. And I've already got the first two Jurassic Worlds on 4K steelbook, both of which black with the logo. So OCD tells you got to pick up Jurassic Park 3 eventually. And I thought, okay, this weekend was going to be that weekend. So that one is now done. I'm going to follow this up with a classic, a film I've owned on VHS, a film I had never had on DVD, and I've never had on Blu-ray until now. Post Mission Impossible, Brad Bird hype, Iron Giant, absolute bargain, £4 to Amazon. And this is kind of it. People are curious about how I've been approaching these. There are films that I've grown up with like this that I haven't seen for years and years. Films that I think people should own. I think there's such a really good comparison about people that build up physical media collections. Of course, buy what you want to buy. But I like mine to be a library of sorts. Even if I'm not going to see every film or watch every film regularly, it's something I want to carry with me for the years that are going to come. As I've been collecting films for most of my life. So Blu-ray and 4K, I'm happy with that. I'm not going to need anything more than that. I don't think we're going to get 8K when the time comes on home media. I also don't think we're going to lose Blu-ray and 4K as time goes by. So for me, I'm in a pretty healthy place as a collector. And next up, we have something that is long overdue. Something that I should have really bought last year for the anniversary. The Godfather on 4K Steelbook. Now, we did a Godfather 4K anniversary review. I watched this at the cinema. It's the first time my dad ever seen The Godfather, which really caught me off guard. Too easy to say one of the greatest ones of all time. If it's not the greatest one of all time, it's in the top three. And you can debate that however you want to debate that. But they did an amazing box set for the 50th last year. And it wasn't a normal one. It was in this really sleek black packaging. The issue I have at the moment, I just don't have room for box sets anymore. And I've reached this point where I don't tend to buy steelbooks, as you can see with this one. It's the 50th anniversary artwork. It looks lovely. It's got the title on the spine, which is something you shouldn't have to hope for, but you do. And I think since the Indiana Jones set last year, when they were being released every month, since having these Jurassic Parks as well, Back to the Future I've now picked up, I like having steelbooks when it's a complete set. I know I don't have the Star Wars ones in steelbook. I wish I did. That's one of my very few gripes. However, they butchered the Episode 5 4K steelbook, which meant it was a lot easier to take that I wasn't going to collect those. Saved a lot of money, because obviously I have the box that I don't need to buy anymore. So, The Godfather, the first one, 4K steelbook. Followed up quite obviously, Godfather Part 2, 4K 50th anniversary. Again, we've got a matching art set here. And obviously we're just going to not hype it up. The third one, Coda, the new version. Never seen the third Godfather film. It's been on the list for far too long. I don't know why I've never seen it. I don't have an excuse. I just haven't seen it. And if anyone's wondering, saying why it took you till now to have the Godfather films, I had the Blu-ray box set for years. I have had so many Blu-ray box sets. But again, because I'm going off buying box sets, they're disappearing from my shelves and they're being replaced by films individually. The first 4 Rocky films, they've got steelbooks. I believe the 5th one's coming out soon. We have reviews on the channel for those. Again, when there's a set, they look amazing, and that's what I like to have. And that's for me the point of the 4K upgrades. But stepping away from steelbooks for a short while, we've got The Aviator. Another Scorsese classic, one I've not seen somehow. I don't know how I've never seen The Aviator. I used to have it on DVD. I don't know where that is. But I just thought, again, one of my long-term goals is going to probably be to get the Scorsese set. I don't know if it's possible. I've not researched it. Not every film from every director is available on Blu-ray. Spielberg was one of the very few. For someone that had always had 30-plus films as well. Magnificent achievement. And another Blu-ray, another one I have seen, thankfully. The Game, another Fincher one. Love this film. Watched it when I was studying again. Watched a lot of Fincher films when I was studying. Fight Club was one of our main units. Love Fight Club, one of my favourite films. But yeah, The Game, really underrated film. I've only seen it once though. And again, I want it for the collection, and I want it to be one of those films where, you know, if we've got friends or family coming around and they're curious about something, David Fincher films can be good to watch. Maybe not with people, but if they want to be challenged in the sense of tone and story, maybe not like, you know, other challenges, it's one of them where you just can't go wrong recommending someone a Fincher film because he's just unbelievable director. And talking of unbelievable directors, none other than Michael Bay is making an appearance now with Ambulance, a sleeper film from last year. If you didn't watch this, you are missing out. I've been waiting to pick this up all year long. I've been waiting for it to go on offer. And this is what I kind of said, you know, I'm happy paying premium prices for 4K sometimes, but not every time. But Ambulance, had no idea what to expect watching this at the cinema. I think I did it with a double bill. I can't remember what I watched it with. The IMAX was empty, but it was just insane. An insane film. One I've wanted to own for ages. One I really want to rewatch. I absolutely had a wild time watching it, and I want to get more Bayhem films down the line. Now, there are no other Michael Bay films in the next batch. We've still got a few more to go through. But yeah, Ambulance. Please watch it if you get the chance. You might hate it, but I honestly think it's one of his best films, and that comes from someone that likes 2 of his 5 Transformer films. And next one, filling out collections once more. Easy one, Mary Poppins on Blu-ray, bargain price. We have Mary Poppins Returns. I don't know why we didn't have this. It's why I needed to pick this one up. I especially hate the OCD more so of having the second film but not the first one. Love Emily Blunt, of course. Oppenheimer, another plug for that film. Please do watch it at the cinema. But yeah, Mary Poppins, a classic. Film I've only ever seen once, thanks to Charlie, who got me to watch that many years ago. And following out of some other 2022 releases, I guess, one of my favourite films last year, The Northman. Don't know why I didn't pick it up. They did a really nice 4K steelbook, but again, I wanted to get it on offer. I shouldn't have waited this long. Unbelievable film. Love Northman. One of the great films of last year. Really underrated film. Underperformed. I think it's a film if anyone saw, they'd absolutely love it. Just insane. And rounding it up with another, I think, it's classic too early to call it this. One of the most intriguing directors on the planet, Mr. Jordan Peele, with Nope. Loved Nope. The more I've thought about this film over the last year, the more it has gravitated towards me. Genuinely, really need to rewatch all 3 of Peele's films. I actually haven't seen Us. I don't own Us. I own Get Out. I've seen that I think twice. But Nope, I absolutely loved. Hoyt van Hoytema, going back to Oppenheimer again. The cinematography in this was superb. Massively overlooked award season. Daniel Kaluuya was absolutely incredible. Stephen Yeun, everybody involved in that I just thought was sensational. And if you haven't seen Nope, please do go and watch Nope. It's really worth watching. We need to support original films. I know I say this and I'm waving around sequels and whatnot, but really films like Nope, they're not going to come across often. We don't get enough of those made these days. And big up Universal taking a chance on that one. And another classic, another Al Pacino film, one I've not seen, Dog Day Afternoon. I'm missing some big Al Pacino films from my collection. Serpico comes to mind straight away. Scent of a Woman I've still not seen. But I am picking up more and more of his. He is one of the, not just greats, but one of my favourite actors of all time. So it's quite hypocritical to then be missing some of his best films. And then talking again about sequels and franchises, a hole in the collection like Ant-Man I couldn't be bothered to fill. Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Didn't enjoy this. I watched it once. I actually watched it on a laptop in the background doing something. That's not how you should watch a Godzilla film, so I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt for another viewing down the line. But the reason I picked that one up was because I finally got Godzilla v Kong on a really good offer. Again, most of these 4Ks I've picked up. Nope, Ambulance, this, Goodfellas, they're all like £12 each. And then they're sealed as well, which really caught me off guard. So again, as I mentioned, I had birthday vouchers used that were left up. I'd done a massive trading at CEX for a load of stuff to also help pick up a few other things. So these videos aren't going to come around often with these massive hauls, but I just wanted to get that out there. Godzilla vs. Kong, loved it at the cinema. One of the first ever films we were accredited for press. Was it the first ever film we were accredited for press? That's a good question within itself. It was one of them. I remember watching it 2 in the morning online, hooked up to the TV, all legal. It was via Warner Brothers. And then picking up another classic, one I saw last month for the first time. One, for some reason, I don't know why we didn't own. Paddington 2. It was like £2 on Amazon. Blu-ray, bargain. We have the first one, the second one. It's like my parents' favourite film. That's why I was surprised they didn't own it. And they have a weird Paddington shrine-y thing. Nothing to that royal nonsense. But we're going to round out this video. 24 films have been said. We've got one more to talk about. And a film I've seen once. Another one I mentioned ironically that I watched back at college. A film I didn't appreciate. A film I really need to rewatch. There Will Be Blood. Daniel Day-Lewis. An unbelievable performance. Paul Dano as well. A film that I didn't like at the time. Again, 10 plus years ago now. I think I was more annoyed we had to stay till like 5 o'clock at college to watch it in a lecture theatre. So, yeah. I want to rewatch that. And Paul Thomas Anderson's director I really do enjoy. I watched Magnolia for the first time. I still need to be bugging us. I need to pick up a few more of his films, like Licorice Pizza as well. So, yeah, that's round out all 25. I'm not going to go through them all again. And I don't really know how to round out these kind of videos because they're new to us. I don't want it to be going for 30 minutes too. But there's going to be more of these. There's going to be more home media stuff as the months go by. Do I do a video setting out what you want to see, a collection? Do I talk about the films that I've been buying, the films I haven't been buying? I'm curious to hear, so please do comment and let us know. It's something, again, we haven't done in the past. It's very new. I'm not going to be doing monthly hauls telling you I've bought 20, 30 films. If I do, maybe it would be me talking about 5, 6 films I've bought. Maybe it's me building a collection for a director that I want to build, or following a journey, or trying to 100% someone. There's a lot of directors, there's a lot of actors that I want to get more films from. It makes me excited to watch films again because it's hit a point where I'm sort of at home, can't be bothered to go through Netflix, and if I'm suddenly spending ages going through my films, because we all do it, you want to watch a film, you spend half an hour picking a film, then you need to drop it down to a 90-minute film. So yeah, this was the first video in maybe a new series. Any standouts from there that you want to see? Any films you thought, how was he only just bought this? Any films you're surprised I've not seen? Any directors you think I should be worth seeking out to try and get on 4K? Please do comment, let me know. And if you do want to see a video of the entirety of my home media collection, that's something in the pipeline. I will just say that it's been in the pipeline for like a year. It's just sort of judge your execution over those kinds of videos. You get it wrong, you cock it, you don't deliver, or you've got terrible films, which I don't think I have. I've got some terrible films. I'm very proud to have some terrible films. It's one of them where it's a great way to get to do it. And if you're a fan of home media, then as I said, do stick around, hit the subscribe button. There's more stuff coming your way. We don't know when they'll be. 4K reviews need to start up again at some point. I've not bought any new releases in ages. Still no Creed 3, no John Wick. I say that ironically after having Ant-Man. I know Guardians is out in October. There'll be some other stuff. And when there is stuff to announce, we'll be talking about them. So that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all for watching. We'll have some new reviews coming later this week as well. Take care. See you on the next one.